Oh, I'm tired. Alright. Smash out the rest of these easy maps, shall we? Oh, yeah. So, essentially, it is 10:35 p.m. Now, luckily for me, as explained previously, I don't have work tomorrow. I have what is known commonly as a weekend, which is a first for me, at least in a while. I haven't had a regular weekend in quite some time. And so I'm not really used to it. But I'm looking forward to it. Because holy shit, I get to sleep in tomorrow. There's nothing better than realizing that you can sleep in. You know? Like, the other day, because obviously I realized I didn't need to come into work on Saturday because it just doesn't exist for us anymore. The other day, I woke up to my alarms, and then I was like, wait a minute, I won't need alarms for Saturday anymore. So I changed the repeating of my alarms, turned off Saturday on all of them, and it felt so good. Like, it's gonna be amazing to just wake up whenever my body is naturally ready to. It's gonna be so nice. Alright, what do we need here? I think at the moment we're fine, right up until we need lead popping power. And we'll probably get a boomerang for that, so before that happens, I'm gonna try and get a banana farm. There we go. Nothing too crazy, just a 000 for now. And we will back that up like that. Swap hands, please. There we go, lead popping power ready. Would you believe me if I said the 90% of the last stream that I did on Twitch was talking about how many 12-year-olds we could destroy in a fight before they overwhelmed us? Like, legitimately, I brought that up as a joke at the start of the stream, and yet it just kept going. It just kept going. People kept talking about it, and we just kept sort of evolving the situation to, you know, newer levels as things went on. We found out some interesting things about each other, and about how many 12-year-olds we could fucking destroy in a fight. I say destroy because it's a little bit fucked up to say kill, but that's essentially what we meant. Like, if there was a horde of 12-year-olds, essentially think of them as zombies, right? All they want is to kill you. There's literally no other thoughts going through their mind. Their main objective is murder, and you are their target, right? How many of them do you think you could fend off or take out before they got the upper hand on you, right? Now, I'm not a crazy person. I'm not talking like infinite amounts of them immediately spawn in and swarm the building like it's a goddamn blood moon. No. I'm talking like, you know, fairly open area. This first got brought up at work, so we personally used our warehouse as an example of where this would happen. So, you know, fairly open area. And then let's say one 12-year-old enters the room every minute, right? You may think to yourself, oh, that's not that bad. One every minute. I could destroy one every minute. Easy. But then you got to consider the fact that you're going to start fatiguing. It's only natural. You're putting in effort. to kill these 12-year-olds. And so naturally, you're gonna start getting fatigued. And so, as they keep continuously showing up at regular intervals, you'll eventually get to the point where 2 of them will be in the room because you haven't dealt with the first one before the next one's shown up, right? And so that's the dilemma, right? How many do you think you could take out before you start getting overwhelmed? Like, there'd be 2, and then, you know, maybe you'd get rid of 1, and then there'd probably still be 2 because the new one had come in. You know, at what point in time do you think you'd get overwhelmed? How many of them do you think you would take out before that point in time? And so we discussed it at work, and then I brought it to the stream, and we discussed it there. Jumped through a whole bunch of different scenarios. And we decided that it's a really good icebreaker if you know the person that you're talking to has a bit of a fucked sense of humor. And, you know, of course they're down with hypothetical situations. Some people just aren't down with hypothetical situations, right? Real life, I'm not going to start decking 12-year-olds in the face and, you know, slamming them into the ground. However much I want to, set aside, you know? I have a tiny little thing that I like to call self-restraint, and sometimes I use it. But yeah, it was just an interesting conversation that popped up at work, and I wanted to spread the joy. Damn, I am really yawning. But yeah, it just got brought up a lot. So, you know, leave a comment for how many 12-year-olds you can beat up in a fight before getting overwhelmed. I think me and my mates settled around 20 to 30. Right? Whereas other people I've talked to have said like 5 or not even like 3 type thing. Because you gotta remember that 12-year-olds on average are pretty fucking savage. Like 12-year-olds these days. See, this was also the dilemma I was having, right? 12-year-olds when I was growing up, infinite fucking energy. And all they wanted to do with it is run around like sociopaths. Fucking playing sport and jump kicking and all sorts of fucking athletic shit, right? Whereas I get the feeling that 12-year-olds these days are just fucking iPad babies, right? You know, you try and communicate to them and they don't understand because it's not in the form of a fucking text or a video call. This is just, I don't know. This is just pure assumptions because I've seen, and let's be honest, it's mainly the parents' fault. I've seen a lot of parents just fucking giving their 2-year-old an iPad and letting that raise them and teach them, which is absolutely fucking horrible. But that's what I mean, right? I get the feeling a lot of 12-year-olds these days probably haven't done as much outdoor activity because all the indoor stuff on iPads and internet and computers and PlayStations, Xboxes, you name it, is so much more captivating, interesting, and addicting than going outside and playing sports with your friends. Which is what I ended up doing quite a bit. Luckily, I think I had the best of both worlds. Where I grew up when the internet was dial-up, and there was a long fucking cord going from my bedroom to the internet connection. Oh, sorry, not the internet connection, the telephone line. And so I feel like I utilized all that time to spend enjoying it with my mates and having a blast. And then, you know, once the settings and stuff got updated and upgraded, then I started to slowly sink into the internet like everybody else. But yeah, like I was saying, I get the feeling like 20 to 30 12-year-olds is fairly good, fairly accurate. And I also decided that if all of these 12-year-olds, did I say 20 to 30-year-olds? No, 20 to 30 12-year-olds. But yeah, I also decided that if all these 12-year-olds did have weapons, for example, if all of them had baseball bats, right? Seems a little bit unfair, and, you know, you could argue the point that maybe it is. But I would like to argue the point that giving them baseball bats makes them weaker. And I have one simple reason for thinking this. If kids are coming in one at a time with these baseball bats, you know what's gonna happen? Step one. There's one child, right? With one fucking bat. That's it. You know what I'm worried about? Fucking nothing. And don't get me wrong, obviously it depends on your own age as well, but I'm 23, about to turn 24. 12-year-olds will probably be, like, maybe up to my nipples if they've got a growth spurt going on, right? So they're pretty short. Right? I'm not the tallest motherfucker on the planet either. Like, I'm short of people that are taller than me or you know, just on average, like, slightly taller than me. These 12-year-olds are gonna be short motherfuckers. And so, step one, kid with a baseball bat comes running at me. Guess what? They swing, I fucking catch it. I catch it, and then boom, pure power, just raw strength, overpower them, yoink it out of their hands, and guess what now? That's right, every subsequent 12-year-old that comes in with a bat, I smack the fuck out of their hands, and then just bam, I immediately have a buff to my own reach and range, and I don't have to hurt my hands anymore, which is great. You disarm one of them, and then suddenly you've got the reach and capability of doing what they do, but way better. That's the ticket right there. Right. I will get double shot early on this map, just because it is a little more difficult to place towers and have them be in good situations on this one. At least I find that. I don't know about you guys. But I find it a little bit more tricky to get placements that I like going on this map. Boom, boom. I'm gonna set one of these guys up. Okay. Decent. But yeah, we can all thank one of my colleagues at work for bringing that up. He was mainly asking about it, right? Because he had obviously thought about this a lot. Because we have pretty tall shelving at work. And so he was just like, yeah, I'd probably just climb to the top of those shelves, and then when they try to climb up and kill me, I'd just kick them in the face and they'd fall down and die. And we all just sort of look at him like, that's kind of fucked up, but also kind of genius. Because these shelves are like up to 5-6 meters high, which is absolutely one hell of a fucking fall. Nobody wants to fall from that fucking high up, or even higher. Don't get me wrong, it's probably survivable, depending on what you land on. But, in the warehouse, solid concrete, so probably not the greatest at breaking falls. Anyway, I have this habit of not bringing up drastically crazy conversations nearly as much as I should. And so I thought I'd bring this one up to you guys. But on top of that, it sort of leaves me on the back burner a little at work. And then eventually, when someone else brings up one of these topics, that's when my version of weird comes out. That's when I start being equally as weird as them, or even weirder, which I think is great. Oh, I thought it was around 40. But yeah, so the second that got brought up and the whole kicking them off the top shelves sort of thing, I was immediately like, depending on how many there are, we do have a freezer, and we know how to lock it. They don't. So we could probably just as easily lure a bunch of them in there, shut it, lock it, boom. Frozen solid. Don't get me wrong, it would take a while. But I feel like a bunch of 12-year-olds trying to open a door against you when you've got the resources to, you know, stack things up against the door from the other side, and it's just too easy. It's just too easy. But yeah, that's what we've been talking about work for quite some time now. And even better is, like, you think it's over, and like it's like, oh well, you know, that conversation was yesterday all said and done. And then you show back up to work the next day and someone goes, so what if you lured them into the freezer and then hit the sprinkler system in the freezer before you left? And everyone kind of goes, oh. And then thinks about it for a bit, and they're just like, you know what? That would set off the sprinklers, and that would absolutely freeze them over much faster than if you just had to fucking wait. Just like that one Saw movie. Just spray them with cold, frozen fucking water. It is really great how chaotically fucking unhinged people at my workplace can become when they're, especially when they're fucking bored. Oh, it's hilarious when they're bored. Well, when certain people are bored. There we go, there's some real power. Okay, I don't really want to be the Dark Knight, honestly. Like, don't get me wrong, cool name, cool upgrades and stuff, but I want laser beams shooting out my arms, and I can only really get that going here, and then Tech Terror. Oh yeah, it was meant to be date night tonight, but I finished work stupidly fucking late. I ended up working an 11-hour shift, which is hilarious because they're trying to cut down on time, obviously, by removing Saturdays. And so, essentially what happened was, Saturdays typically take 4 hours to complete, which, when you factor in the fact that it's time and a half, means that it's actually 6 hours of regular work time being paid out, right? Now, it's like 4 hours of work, but 6 hours of getting paid, which is nice. And now when you factor in that we essentially did all of Saturday's work on top of all of today's work, in order to make this new system work, right? So they added on 4 more hours to today than we normally would do. And this is their plan for the foreseeable future, which is even more terrifying, right? Because this shit's gonna happen weekly. So essentially, they moved 4 hours worth of work onto today to prevent us getting paid that time and a half, right? But when you think about it, we were already rostered on a set amount of hours. And then after that set amount of hours, which we are normally used to working and it being okay and fine, right? After that set of hours, we'd normally go home. But instead, after that set of hours, we realized, hey, we now have roughly 4 hours worth of work left. Fucking great. Nobody was happy about it. Everyone was fatigued as shit, and we ended up doing like 6 hours. Maybe 7. No, I think it was 6. So who would have guessed that fatigue from working probably makes you work slower? Whoa, revelations, am I right? But yeah, me and my mate realized and figured out that because we got to the point beyond time and a half for overtime, we got to the point where we were getting paid 2 times for the extra hours that we were doing. And me and my mate both figured out that we did like an hour and a bit worth of 2 times pay work. And we also figured out that, you know, if we do 2 hours worth of time and a half, then that's like the equivalent of doing 3 hours, right? And then if you chuck on an overtime times 2 bonus onto the last hour that you do, that's another 2 hours. So it's 5 hours. So we're getting paid 5 hours worth instead of 6, which, you know, in theory is better. But at the same time, we're still only like, we'd be able to smash that out in 4 hours, so these guys are still technically losing money. Well, not losing, but not gaining as much as they'd like to have. Alright, last map, what's this called? Tinkerton, 5,000 to start with, 25 to 100. Bring it on. I got one Quincy here. This map is a pretty generous one, which I'm a big fan of. Let's do this. And yeah, right around here. Alright, I'm happy with that. But yeah, I just know me and my mate calculated today that they absolutely did not make money compared to us just having a normal Saturday, which I thought was pretty great. And technically even worse than that, because we had more people rostered on today because of obviously the volume of how much shit we had to do. So even more people got time and a half and double time than normally would have, which I think is silly. Very, very silly. But yeah, I got out of work at like 6:40ish, something like that, I think. Yeah, and then me and the missus had a date night, which wasn't exactly what we were expecting. We were gonna go to a certain place. Oh. And then we found out that certain place closed at 3:30, and we were both like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, but if you're selling burgers or pizzas, you gotta be able to cater for people that want burgers or pizzas for dinner. I mean, really? That's like, It's like prime craving time. Motherfuckers always be craving pizza for dinner. So why no open? Same with pizza. There's many times that I've been craving pizza for dinner. Oh, sorry, and burgers. Burgers is what I meant. See, I'm getting sleepy. I can't think straight when I'm getting sleepy. Luckily I don't have to, because this Odyssey seems to run by itself fairly automatically, which is great news for me. And yeah, we're gonna crush this. I know you can drop some oranges. Other than that, I don't know anything special about this map. Oh, come on. No. I guess I can put it here. So that's segregated. Man, we also had a pretty shit day today. First of all, everything that we normally put in certain spots got shuffled around a lot. And certain people really fucking hated that and voiced their opinion about it pretty loudly to everyone they saw. So that did suck, admittedly, but the reason for it did not suck, and the person who did it doesn't suck. They were covering for someone else and they do it differently because that's the only way they know how to do it, so I don't blame them for it, but it did kind of suck. And then on top of that, the team that usually sucks a bunch of sucked even more because they were trying out something new, and lo and behold, didn't work. If only someone had told them about it in a meeting, like just the other day. Oh wait. That definitely happened. Let's do that, and then place this boy here. Now we don't need to worry about camera detection, so we can go full on something else mode. I don't know. I don't even know what I was thinking. Should we go middle or should we go bottom? I mean, top. I think I'm still partial to the Robo Monkey in the middle path. It's weird, because ordinarily I'd go for Sun Avatar, but I'm really liking these crit hits. There we go. Also, does anyone actually enjoy the first-last targeting of this Super Monkey? I prefer first strong. Like, first last isn't bad, but everything in the middle, everything on the in-between, just basically as a free roam to go through the map as they please. Which is kind of fine. Ooh. Which is kind of fine, because obviously Robo Monkey's gonna shred the shit out of them anyway. It's only a matter of time until it gets to them in the middle, hiding away like cowards under a branch. I don't know. But yes, it's just what's the word? I don't know, it's just interesting. Oh yeah, and I forgot about this. Click, 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 click. Let's go with a Sky Shredder, shall we? That seems fun. Centered path, because I've already given it camo detection. So that's all well and good. But yeah, we were meant to go to a place, and then we found out that it closed at 3:30. So we went to a different place that we knew was open, ordered some stuff, took it home, and just sort of ate it, had a chit chat, and yeah, it was a good night. Really good night. We even tried one of those exercise things you see on Instagram. Well, it probably came from TikTok, but I don't have TikTok and I can't verify that it came from TikTok, so we saw an exercise video on Instagram where essentially one person was holding the other person up by one leg while they were leaned over a lot. So essentially, if the other person didn't hold their leg, they would fall on their side. But, you know, because it's a happy little Instagram post, of course they were able to keep their balance and do it perfectly. Meanwhile, I fucking turned off my phone because I didn't think we'd need to look at it again to try it out. Turn it back on, open it back up Instagram. Boom. Automatically sends me to the top of the fucking feed and refreshes my page. I fucking hate that. And you know what else I hate about Instagram now that I think about it? Why the fuck won't you just let me zoom in on pictures? No, technically you can. But guess what? I want it to fucking stay zoomed in. And it doesn't. Why? What fucking idiot thought that would be a great feature to implement? Oh yeah, make sure they have to constantly keep their fingers obstructing the screen in order to see what they're zooming into. Don't just let them zoom in and sit there. No, that'd be way too much fucking processing power. Oh, that does bug me. That is annoying. I hate that. Why is that a thing? Oh. Who knows? Who knows at this point? I'm just glad we got a Sky Shredder up and running. And this is the last map. Zalia's little lab, home fortress, Tinkerton, whatever you want to call it. Oh. Yeah, we're good, we're good. Nothing to worry about. Pour myself some water and hope that it helps keep me awake and functional. Come on, we're so close. Technically this is kind of messed up because I just poured cold water into my cup that just so happens to have a Charmander on it. Unlike that that one episode with Charmander in it, where he's been abandoned by his trainer. I did not swallow that properly. Where he got abandoned by his trainer, and you just see him sort of like skulking around in caves, and his flamey tail is very dim because it's been raining a shitload. And he's got like a makeshift shelter to move around in the rain. It's very sad. Very sad episode. Also, at some point in time, this rocket thing comes back. I'm not sure how or when that happens, but it just does. 2 + 2 equals what? I don't even know what that thing is. Oh well. Can't be important. I know that's the sign for either long division or a derivative. What else can I put down? Not much, huh? Put down one of each already. Minimum. I mean, we can go for the anti-bloom, but don't know if it's worth it. Maybe once we hit the later rounds, if I'm really feeling up for it, I'll place the anti-wound. Because obviously I don't have the cash now, but these all sell for 5 grand a piece roughly, so 20,000. You're actually pretty close on the anti-wound price if I sell all those. In fact, we've made it past, right? Am I wrong? Am I stupid? Yeah. Okay, cool. Holy crap, this Terra is just doing everything. No other balloons, no other monkeys. No one gets a chance. And killed. Okay, good. Good stuff, good stuff. I really want to go for the anti-wound, especially because we don't have Rosalia. Is that weird? I want to go for it because we don't have Rosalia. Seems a little weird, but oh well. Just to prove we don't need it. We don't need Rosalia's little price reduction. Hell no. We can afford what we want, when we want, how we want. Boom. Constant crit hits. Forever. Is there anything else I wanted? I don't think so. Whoops. Kinda wanted that. Okay. Yeah, oh, yeah, right there. Cool. Don't have to worry about camo detection, and I can still get the bottom path like I wanted. Hell yeah. Yeah, I got a good feeling about these last few rounds. I got a real good feeling about it. Good here. Should be. Boom. Hey, there's that big scarab. You don't get to see that often, huh? Only a new skin. There we go. Ba-boom. Taking off. Officially completed. Well played, everyone. 400 monkey money, a nice little insta monkey, and 50 trophies to boot. Alright. That's been taking off part 2. I'm gonna go to bed. 11:13, not bad. That took like 40 minutes or so. Not bad, not bad. Anyway, thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.